What's up, everybody? It's time for more Madden 19 streaming today. Gonna be playing more of this little test franchise that I've been working on for a while. I have some sliders to show off today, and if you were following my Twitter at all, you saw clips of some pretty good looking Madden gameplay, especially for this year. So today we're gonna see if I can get some more good games and get closer to this series getting underway. We've been talking about it now for around a month, and I just wanted to get things right before getting underway. So welcome everybody. We'll get into some games soon, and of course have a lot to talk about, I'm sure, regarding the AFC and NFC championship games that were played yesterday. How is everyone doing? The man himself, that's right. I missed the green screen in the background. I don't, because I like being able to have me be a little bit larger on the camera, whereas when it's the full rectangle in the entire frame, I have to end up making it a lot smaller, otherwise I interfere with the screen, and this way it's just so much cleaner. Next Twins video, count on that tomorrow. I know it's been a little while, close to a week now, but I'll get that up tomorrow. I was originally going to be pretty busy to start this week, and now I'm not going to be. I'll be busy later in the week, so should have some time to get stuff done. But these are the sliders that I've been playing on lately. They're very similar to the ones I showed you when I was streaming last week. The difference is that I dropped user tackling and I dropped pass defense reaction time because just coverage didn't seem right. I was seeing players cut and players not react until it was late, and it just led to a lot of awkward plays. And I went back to Operation Sports, and a lot of people talking about how when they go lower in pass defense reaction time, they think it gets better. And I've seen that this year. I just hadn't really tested it recently. I decided to start up a game, and I put pass defense reaction time to 0, nothing. And the man coverage was so sticky when I was covering the CPU. They couldn't do anything. And then I put it at 25, because it's the halfway point between 50 and 0 to see where it was at. And now I'm getting all kinds of good plays. So I'm hoping today is a good demonstration of the gameplay I can get in this new series. By the way, the 45-0 loss against the Saints, I only played half that game, so only 24-0 of that is me. I was playing some horrible defense here, and Teddy Bridgewater shredded us. But I got in some good games last night, and I wanted to show you the box scores, but then I forgot to save, so I lost progress. I played, I think, almost 4 games in full last night. I was having a really good time with it. I did actually end up winning a game, so it was hard to win. I had to get some big red zone stops, some ridiculous touchdown catches, as well as an interception when they were down by like 5 and only had what was it? They were down by 5 and they were in the red zone, and I got a big interception. It looked really good. I had some fun. So hopefully today I can get some fun games for you here. But I think I'm ready to focus on the chat now. Thank you for being patient with my long-winded intro. So yeah, those championship games were definitely something. Thank you for the first super chat, Jonathan Robles. As a Falcons fan, I've never been happier. I mean, after 2009, obviously, I'm not like a big Saints fan or anything. I think they did get screwed by that call. But they did win the toss in overtime. Breeze did throw a clean interception, so that was a thing. But yeah, that call would have changed everything had that actually been made. It would have been a first down, I think, in the red zone for the Saints. And they were able to chew clock, and they had themselves in a great spot. Thank you for becoming a member, Kobe. The newest member. We did the channel member live stream over the weekend. If you do become a member, you're able to watch it whenever you want. One of the perks to becoming a member to the channel is a monthly live stream where I talk to you guys about the series. I talk about the channel, different ideas I have, and I get a lot of feedback. It's not very gameplay oriented. It's really about me trying to make the channel better and to just hang out a little bit. Oh man, that Chris Jones hit on Tom Brady. Yeah, I could not believe that call. But if anyone's going to get that call, you know it's Brady. Do you think that Josh Rosen gets that call? Do you think there's any chance Rosen gets that call? How do you become a member? If you want to, remember it is $4.99 a month. It's a way to help support the channel. But if you want to become a member, there's a link in the description, I believe. And there's also a join button, but I know that join button doesn't always show up on iOS. So I don't know if it's actually... if I have that link in there. I'm sure I do. I'll check. But I've seen some really cool stuff. Oh, yeah, it is. I've seen some really cool stuff on this gameplay. And what I've finally seen is the CPU taking some deep shots and getting behind me. Because I get away with so much single high defense and not really having a lot of safety help. But I played today and gave up like a 75-yard touchdown. I played last night and Cam hit me for 80. But then I played today and my run defense was like super good. So I wanted to see if that carried into this game at all. Also seeing a lot of penalties. Where are your sliders? I showed them a little bit earlier, but they're also tweeted out if you just check my Twitter and go back to last night. Got a super chat from Chandler. Do you think Winston is the future for the Bucks? I think right now I'm leaning toward no, but with Bruce Arians, he's got his best chance to play at a high level, so we'll see. But I haven't been all that impressed recently, and he's got to really clean up the mistakes on the field if he's going to be worth it. Can you do Kalispell basketball instead of Madden from Toasted Network? I'm going to be doing that closer to March Madness. I got some other stuff I want to get going first. Kalispell basketball will be later on. Nice throw, Rosen to Travis Benjamin. Another super chat here from FNG Owen. I'm not sure how I'm supposed to say this name, but is playing on cloud better than online franchise? I think it's mostly preference. If you do choose to go cloud, as DJ almost bowls us over for a touchdown. If you go on the cloud, you're going to have better loading times. You're going to have any updates they post that aren't patches, like different tuners or whatever. But I'm not even sure they're releasing those, so that might be a moot point. But you're also, like, you have to be online in order to do it, and if you get booted at any point, you're obviously going to get kicked out of the game you're in. So I recommend offline. Online just requires, you know, stable connection, and when you're playing games of Madden that can easily be an hour, do you want to roll the dice on that? Did I just hear Kalispell basketball? Yes. College Hoops 2K8. We're going to see the debut of Kalispell basketball around March Madness this year. So near the end of February, I'll be talking about it again. I'm working more on the new series here, the Kane Challenge, I guess. I'm looking for a better name. And then the draft class. Then I'll work towards Kalispell basketball. Are the Raiders still your favorite team to move? Yes. And they will be the team that I end up moving. I found the team that I'm going to be relocating to. It's not OKC, but I think you'll like it. You can't change it from offline to online. Once you pick, you're stuck. Which I would like them to change. Rosen. Oh, he got it! Wow, Josh Rosen for the touchdown. The team I'm using, by the way, aren't the actual Buccaneers. I released almost everybody, and I signed a bunch of like free agents, and then I simmed an off season, so they did draft some guys. But this team is like 77s and under. It's pretty close to what my team is going to be like when we get to the new series. What a throw, Rosen. Do you have an explanation to the Chiefs about the bad first half? Well, I think a lot of it had to do with the Patriots being so good. The Chiefs didn't get the football. What I expected was the Chiefs or the Patriots that try and make this game more about running. I thought they would play in a way that would make the Chiefs run more instead of throwing. And then I expected the Patriots to pound the ball quite a bit. So Sony Michel got more work. I don't think that same game plan is going to help them against the Rams. I just think the Rams can disrupt their running game too much. All right, so 7-0 Arizona. Toasted Network sends a super chat. Which conference will Kalispell end up being in? They're going to be in the Mountain West. That's a good question, though, because I've moved them. But considering it's like a brand new basketball team, I'm not a good basketball game player. We're going Mountain West. Not going to play against Oregon and UCLA. Oh, wow. There are more drops on these sliders, but I think they're fair. The players that drop them they tend to be the lower rated ones. And I know that our drop rates are probably going to be higher than real life drop rates. But the thing is that in the NFL, teams aren't throwing it 100 times to a player who would be 73 overall in Madden. So we don't know what the drop rates really would be. Oh, I got it. There we go. Who's going to win the Super Bowl? If I had to predict, I'd say the Patriots. They're just such a well-coached team. They're playing really well right now. What rookie this year caught your eye? For me, probably I like Derwin James quite a bit. I did like a lot of what Darius Leonard does. Not so much against the pass. I can't even think right now. Jair Alexander for the Packers. I knew he was going to be pretty amazing. Was hoping it would take him a little bit longer. Got that one. Oh, of course, Nick Chubb. Calvin Ridley. Yeah, Ridley's good. Ridley, he was kind of quiet to start out and then had a really interesting middle of the year and then quieted down again. Anthony Miller for the Bears. I was also pretty high on him. Kerryon Johnson for the Lions, I think, is going to be their best running back since Barry Sanders, which isn't really saying a whole lot. Obviously, Quentin Nelson. What I would do to get Quentin Nelson on the Vikings. Of course, Saquon. I was kind of thinking of more obscure. Whenever anyone asks stuff like that, the last thing I think of are like the big names, because it's like, well, you know those. Uh-oh, that is not ideal, folks. Gotta be careful on these sliders. Oh yeah, Dante Pettis. Leighton Vander Esch. I was also very high on Vander Esch. I'm seeing about every rookie in the chat. Here goes DJ to the outside and 3 yards there. What I've done to get the CPU running game better is I've focused on kind of dropping my tackle rating because it does control block shedding and obviously just like tackling. I didn't want to have a big difference because on All Pro it should be really equal, user versus CPU. But, I mean, the CPU just doesn't run well this year, so I had to do a lot to get them to be somewhat competitive there. I think Harold Landry will really emerge. Yeah, sports fan, I thought Harold Landry should be a first-round pick, and I believe in my mock I had him going to the Bears. I had him going top 10, and he ended up going in the second round to Tennessee. And I just thought that was one of the biggest crimes of the draft. We're going to switch the song here. Sideline. Got it. David Moore. I'm making plays with David Moore. Oh, of course, Baker. I like Baker a lot. Baker was my QB1 last year. The game where he helped them win in prime time on that Thursday night, that was like a top 3 moment for me watching football this year. That was so much fun. I think I had more fun watching that game than I did watching any Viking game this year at any point. Where do you guys think Kyler Murray goes in the draft? Because he is really the true wild card of this. I could see it being just about anywhere in the first round. If I had to pick, I think I'd go more toward the end of the first round, just because we don't know what I don't know what the stock is going to be on him. And then you have teams that might favor like more prototypical quarterbacks, and that's where you're going to get into the conversations about like Daniel Jones and other quarterbacks that may or may not be worth a first-round selection. Murray's the one that'll excite everybody, but who's going to be the one to like tie their job security to him? I hope it's a team that has kind of an inventive offensive coordinator. I don't want to see Murray wasted in some weird scheme. Like the Ravens, they took Lamar Jackson and completely revamped the offense to fit him this year. And I'm sure that next year it'll be, you know, a little more focused on passing. It's just, I'd run pretty much 80% of the time too if my top receivers were Michael Crabtree and Willie Snead and John Brown. I think those guys are all complimentary. Oh, I got this one. I got this one. Got it! Playing on 45 QB accuracy, there will be a lot of misses still, but can also hit a lot of those big plays. Bob, thank you for the super chat. If you're still looking for a good relocation team, look at Oklahoma City Lancers. Really simple uniforms and logo. I did like the Oklahoma City Lancers, and I also like the Bison's uniforms. However, I've already selected the team that's not going to be OKC. There's a touchdown, by the way. I've seen a few of these tight ends basically running free against man coverage. I want to see what's happening here. Or it wasn't a tight end, it was Robinson. He was just out of position. He's, you know, playing way outside. I'm going inside. There's just no shot. They gotta clean up calls like this. I don't know why he'd play that kind of leverage to start out and just leaves you in a bad spot. Either the Bucs or Denver, because both those teams have a good enough offense for him to start out with. I couldn't see the Bucs doing it. I think it's the make or break Jameis Winston year. I think they got Bruce Arians to just aid in that attempt to make Jameis Winston the franchise quarterback. Denver, I think you could have a conversation about. I don't think after signing Case Keenum that they're likely to go the veteran route again. They'll want to draft somebody, and if they can't get one of the first couple guys, or I don't know, maybe they prefer Murray, but I think that that's a solid option. Where are you going, Rosen? He throws it away. Boise State might be changing their blue turf. Now, why would they do that? Can you explain the rules of this new series? So the rules of the series are going to be geared in a way to make it so there are no shortcuts to becoming a good team and that I have to earn everything that I get. So I'm starting out, obviously, in year 2 of a franchise with only undrafted free agent rookies. So everybody on the team is going to be basically 74 overall and under. And from there, the way I make the team better is going to be through drafting and free agent signings. I'm not allowed to trade because I think trading really, it just quickens the gap there. And you can just trade your picks for players or your players for picks. And you can stockpile by trading down in the NFL draft. I just don't want to manipulate it like that. I want there to be a real climb, and I want everything to be earned. So trades are going to be turned off for the entire series. And then when it comes to free agents, I can only sign players within a certain overall tier, and that tier is going to be decided based on winning. So the more wins I get, the better free agents I'm able to go after. And I can't really go after 80 overalls until we're already playoff caliber. So the main way to make the team better is going to be through the draft. I get 7 picks every year. They cannot be moved, and I got to make the most of them. What week is this? I don't know, but it's not important. It's just a test franchise. It's like week 11 or something. Ah. I do think the Bears losing Fangio is a loss, but I do think Chuck Pagano is as good of a replacement as they were going to be able to get. Oh, man. Nice play, Pat Pete. What I'm noticing on these sliders is that I'm getting incompletions that just look so much better. I don't like when most of your incompletions are like throwaways or interceptions or dropped interceptions. Madden needs more plays like this, where it's like, hey, this is really close. We got a lot of players in an area here. And we go to make the catch, and Pat Pete disrupts the play. Animation there wasn't actually perfect, but I want more incompletions to resemble that. Slight disruption on the receiver, a slight deflection, a bad throw. Yeah, whoa, I'm dropping all kinds of frames now. Yeah, it does seem that frames are being dropped. I'm trying to figure it out. That was happening last week. In the stream I did on Saturday, the channel member stream, it wasn't really a problem. And then now today, it appears we got at least some kind of issue going on. Not really sure why, because when I was streaming before, didn't seem to have any sort of problem. I didn't really change anything with the settings. As a matter of fact, I lowered the bitrate just to make it a little less taxing. What's up, DJ South? Yes, Kano Mac is here. Will I be taking the Raiders' current record in draft picks? I'm not getting their draft picks, no. I'm going to make sure I only have their 7 for year 1, or for year 2 of the franchise, which is year 1 of us playing. I know that's confusing, but what's going to happen is I'll start a brand new franchise, take over the Raiders. By the end of the year, I'll get rid of everybody. I'll get rid of all the picks that I don't belong here. And then I'm going to make sure that in the following year, we get all the picks that we're supposed to have. And then we start with undrafted free agents. Already got it all planned out. Nice overthrow. Yeah, I'll run through these sliders again. If you're able to rewind it all to the first minute of the stream, they're shown there. I think I showed them all. I'm not sure if I actually scrolled through the list. I'm seeing a lot of holding penalties and stuff too for some reason. It's not going to be a Raiders franchise. I'm relocating them. It's going to be a completely different team. Ooh, look at that. Haven't seen too many of those. I think we're dropping more frames, or just at least having inconsistent connection for some reason. Whoa, Pat Pete jumped that one. That transition, though, when you get the interceptions, got to get better. The franchise, I hope it starts this weekend. I'm going to put a lot of effort into getting it started then. The sliders, I think, are really close. So, look at that play. But then the interception transition. I'm not sure why any frames are being dropped. Thank you for the super chat, Leo. What made you choose the Dolphins for your series? Well, when I was doing it, I wanted the Dolphins because I thought that they had a team that I would enjoy building. I had a chance to maybe go and get some skill players if the ones they had didn't work out. I had a chance to really work a lot on that defense, but get to play with Minkah Fitzpatrick. I would have loved to build up that Dolphins team, but unfortunately, we know how this all has gone. Just broke up the last two of those. Are these sliders viable for something other than your new series? I think so. I really haven't put these through the works yet. What I've played so far has been mostly good, and then I think it'll work, especially for using a bad team, but I'll test it out using regular teams too. I might not finish this game. I might just sim it to the end and get into a new one, because the main thing I'm looking for is just like how did the game play overall. I'm not looking for just like stats and stuff necessarily. I want to see what types of games I can get. Top 3 things you would like Madden to change. If I had to pick 3, I would pick can AI just be one thing? There's so many different areas of AI that gotta get better. Up top we go, and got that one, David Moore. If I could fix only 3 things in Madden, I think one of them would have to be the quarterback AI. I think one of them would have to be the play calling AI. Or I think I'd even prioritize running back AI over quarterback AI. And then my third one would probably be man coverage. Like just like a coverage reworking in terms of separation and all the little intricacies. But I think AI is the weakest part of the game right now. Oh, so close. But then there's still sim stats, super sim, regression. Like 3 areas aren't enough. Although 3 areas can make the game a whole lot better. Thank you for the super chat, Alex. Great work, Kane. 3rd down and 10, and I'll get to another super chat. I missed that throw. Devon? Not sure. I'm going to say Devin, probably. The Vikes franchise gave me hope Ponder was a good quarterback. Well, he was good in the franchise. And he was good in 2012. Thank you for the super chat. This one's from Leo again. Do you think there is any chance you might choose the Seahawks for a future series? You know, every year I try to find new teams to use. I almost used the Seahawks. I think I might have considered them for the Matt Pierre series. But yeah, I would love to use the Seahawks at some point. I just need the right series and the right fit at the time. I'll let them run this last drive, and then I want to get to the next game and see how the Panthers play us. If AB is traded, what teams do you see trying to make a move for him? I could see a team like Jacksonville because they're going to be pretty desperate, I think, for offensive help. They also might have somebody to trade for AB if they're willing to give up anybody on defense, and that's where I think the Steelers would try to get better. So I could see a player for player swap there, or a player plus a pick for AB. Other than them, although I don't know if I want to trade him to another AFC team. If I had to pick an NFC team, I could see it being a team maybe like Arizona, because they're going to need a lot of help getting better, and I think they could use a receiver. And they too might be able to part ways with a defensive player the Steelers would like. Oh boy, David Johnson to the outside. No way Jax has the cap space. That's why I think they have to trade somebody to make some room. Which I'm not sure is possible, but teams usually find a way. They can also cut and clear up room, so restructuring. Sometimes I wonder if the cap system is just a little too flexible. Action, they go sideline with that one. Nicely done, Rosen. San Francisco makes, yeah, I could see San Francisco. I think it could be an NFC team that's just like, okay, we got to compete with all these really good teams, and if you're San Francisco, obviously the Rams are in your division. Got to make a bold move. The Rams did bold stuff, and they got to the Super Bowl. Amberly, please don't spam the chat. I don't know if you're just having a bad day or what. You said it's your birthday. If so, I do hope you have a happy birthday. But that's not the way to ask for shoutouts. Panthers? Yeah, Panthers need some receiver help. They got a good one in DJ Moore, and they got some production out of Curtis Samuel this year, so that was nice. But I think it'd be really fun if Cam had AB on the team. Thoughts on Kirk Cousins, because I'm a Viking fan. I think Kirk Cousins is what I would call a third-tier quarterback. You have a third-tier quarterback to me. You have your elites, the Drew Brees, Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady. And then your second tier are the guys who could become elite or are like really solid franchise quarterbacks, like the Andrew Lucks of the world, Russell Wilson, who I would also put like borderline elite. And then I think you have guys who are maybe slightly above average or average, but their play varies so much that you can't put them in any higher tier. And that's where I would put Kirk Cousins with the Matthew Staffords and Andy Daltons. I think Cousins is all right, but he needs a more stable situation around him to unlock that high-level play that he is capable of. But when things aren't going well around him, he's not really one to lift up the offense when everything is, you know, sinking. And we saw that in the second year of the second half of the year. Do I think there should be conference changes in the AFC? Yeah, let's get the Patriots out of the same division of 3 teams that can't find a franchise quarterback. How about that? Let's start there. Make them play the Steelers and Ravens twice a year instead. Yeah, I do think penalties need to be made reviewable. I really don't like that pass interferences are such a judgment call, and whatever's called on the field is just what they stick with. Pass interference is way too valuable of a foul to just be left to basically balls and strikes, you know, in baseball. They don't review balls and strikes, and pass interference is the same way, and it arguably has more impact than an individual strike or ball call. Especially with pass interference as being spot fouls and automatic first downs, it's a big problem. Geographically, why are the Dolphins with the Bills, Jets, and Pats? I don't know. The AFC South sure makes a lot more sense. How do you think we could make NFL games shorter? I think you could look at removing certain commercial breaks and finding different ways to get ad revenue, whether it's with, I don't know, more in-stadium advertising. I mean, I guess they could go the advertising on uniform route, which I think looks really weird, but the NBA does it. I think that reviews can be a lot faster for sure. I just think that when we're all able to watch all these great camera angles and then the referee instead just has to go over to the sideline and it takes like 2-3 minutes, it's like all of us already figured out what should happen in less than 30 seconds. So you need the same process. Let someone just radio it in at hyper speed, like how we confirm touchdowns. They don't confirm touchdowns by going to the sideline for a half hour to really check it out. They confirm it really fast, and all the calls really should be like that. What do you think about roughing the passer? There are a lot of calls I don't like, specifically the ones that are anything similar to what Chris Jones did yesterday, which was hardly contact. And it wasn't violent whatsoever. Got a hand on that one. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, that one's going to Greg Olsen. 26 yards. Do I think the roughing call on Brady cost the Chiefs the win? I think the bigger play was the D Ford lining up off sides, and they got the INT. And certainly offsides is more avoidable. As soon as the draft class is done, I will release it, but it's not done. Do I think the Browns make the postseason next year? I would say yes. Especially if there's any kind of falling out with the Steelers and Antonio Brown, and maybe Big Ben retires. The Bengals need a lot of work. The Ravens, we don't know how they're going to build the offense yet. They always have a good defense. So I think the Ravens will be in the hunt for sure. Whoa, Curtis Samuel, what a play. SportsFan98, I just hate how illegal contact on 4th and 30 is an automatic first down. The debate about whether PI should be a spot foul is a good one, though. Yeah, and it's kind of a hard one to find solutions for, just because you think about if it's a 15-yard penalty, then teams are just going to start destroying anybody Nickel Roby-Coleman style if they're beat downfield. And they do that now, but they'll pay less for it if they change the rule to the alternative. I think one of the things that needs to be maybe talked about is how we can make it so there is some contact allowed. Let's not just talk about what we should do when the penalties happen. We should talk about how much contact should be allowed in the game. And we should start trying to have less pass interferences called overall and allow a bit more contact. Perhaps before the ball is thrown, there's a bit more contact allowed, and they play a little bit more loose with it, like in college. How about we stop calling pass interference on underthrown balls too? I don't think college overtime is the solution to the NFL. I think that college overtime is actually very bad for just like a good part of the game. I don't think that college overtime does a good job of getting the right team to win. I think it's just entertainment. Like, it'd be entertaining if in overtime we just had both quarterbacks like fight in a cage, but I don't think that's the right way to decide a football game. I don't think college overtime really solves anything. You start teams in field goal range, you take special teams out of the game, you take basically half the playbook out of the game. You can't even throw the ball downfield. It's just, can you get the ball 25 yards into the end zone? College overtime also usually extends the game by a lot because you're so close and it's easier to score. You don't have to do any work to get in scoring range. College overtime is fun. It's not necessarily good, though. I enjoy watching it. College football overtime is basically the same thing as deciding a hockey game in a shootout. Maybe not to the same extent, but I don't think that college overtime, it takes half the game of football away, if not more than half the game of football away. That was up for grabs. Yeah, in college overtime applied to the NFL, it could potentially be bad for statistics, but I don't think it would have a huge impact. But there would be a couple outlier games that have pretty much just as many points scored in OT as they do in regulation. That would be something that would happen. If they adapted college overtime but they started teams at their own 20, then I might get on board. Like, my whole thing with college OT isn't just that there's no kickoffs and that's removed. It's mostly that teams start in scoring range and they have no work to do to get there. And also, you can't stretch the ball down the field because there is no downfield. It's out of bounds. They should remove ties, though. I don't really think ties have a place in professional sports. I also have no idea why they thought it was a good idea to reduce the overtime length by 10 minutes. That, to me, was just pointless. What are you trying to do? Create more ties? You're not going to create more urgency. Teams don't get urgent until there's 2 minutes remaining anyway, so what's the point of reducing it from 15 to 10? All they did was increase the chance of a tie. Oh, what a catch! I've seen some great catches on these sliders. The stream's been going on now for about 45 minutes. Oh, he couldn't secure it. They reduced it for injury reasons, apparently. Injuries have a chance to happen as long as the game goes on, and by reducing the length of overtime by 5 minutes, all they really did is make it so ties are more common. I mean, it's silly. Oh no. I knew I should have slid instead. I thought I'd get away with it. I think overtime should be untimed. Yeah, I'm cool with that because I don't think ties should be in, so there's no point in a game clock at that point. Although, there's not necessarily no point in a game clock because you do want teams to have to change sides after a certain amount of time. You don't want an entire team to be guaranteed to have the wind at their back or something like that. Oh, we got some pressure on Cam, and he missed him. Yeah, I did play a little football. I played running back, which I actually didn't really enjoy. I wanted to play wide receiver. And then safety and corner. I think I enjoy corner more. Closer to the action. Although safety is really fun. Uh-oh. A lot of pressure there, and there's nowhere to go. Benson Mayowa. This playbook, by the way, I created this today for the Cardinals series, and a new episode is going up a little bit later tonight. I just decided to use the playbook now because it was my default option after recording Cardinals earlier. Buying some time here. And, oh, come on! It looked like I had him right there. Defensive backs are making a lot of plays here, though. You can't just chuck and keep making plays over and over again. They're going to make you pay for mistakes. If only I were a running back, slot, safety, linebacker, return man like Jabril Peppers. Nope. Running back, safety, corner, and returner. That's all I played. Cam going empty here. What's the call? Newton. Got him. He's only had like 1 or 2 throws that have gone to someone besides Olsen, I'm pretty sure. One thing about sliders I've noticed is sometimes teams do get a little like heavy in regards to targets to the tight end, but I don't think it's a problem on these sliders. I've had so many games where the receivers have most. I just think that Olsen's easily their best matchup problem for us right here. One thing with really bad teams is that if you have poor safeties and linebackers, you don't have a shot against good tight ends. You're at a disadvantage no matter what, but especially against tight ends, the way Madden works. This is not going to go well, I don't think. Oh, we tried the dive. We canceled the animation. I think this gameplay is going to make for a fun series, though. If we get games like this and can have some intense action and just a good-looking game of football, hopefully. Cam, oh, he's hit. I haven't dropped any frames in a while. That's good. Stream status is good. I hope I can iron that out before I get into like the Kalispell series and I want to stream that more often and not have any issues here. Opinion on Colin Cowherd. I don't really watch the network TV sports opinion shows. I just don't see the point. Especially when they want to give an opinion on literally every sport. If you have like opinions on 10 different topics, you're not an expert at any of them. So why bother listening? If you want to get NFL news or whatever, if you want to hear people talk about NFL, like, personally, I would just go to sources that only do NFL. And then if you wanted to know about basketball, I look to people who specialize in basketball. But a lot of those shows just seem to be a lot of shock value stuff and, you know, Hail Mary takes that they hope somehow work. Third down and 28. Oh boy, nowhere to go. These old linemen are not going to be much help for us. You know who I want to hear talk about football if I want to hear an opinionated show? I want to see Maurice Jones-Drew, because he's been right about a lot of stuff, and he played in the league, and he only covers football. I like watching NFL Network a lot. When it comes to like sports TV, my favorite networks are the MLB Network, the NBA TV channel, and MLB Network. I was watching some game a couple weeks ago, and it was a basketball game. I cannot remember who was playing, but I think it... Why am I watching? I don't know what I'm doing. Blackjack, what's up? But I was watching the NBA TV. Some game was playing late, and I think it was the players only broadcast, and it was just fun to hear, I don't know, guys just joke around and talk a little bit about the game. It wasn't like a really intense game or anything. I thought it was kind of fun to watch. I know last year I was watching some MLB Network, and it was just like, I don't know, Pedro Martinez. There were a couple baseball dudes just like, you know, just hanging out, talking baseball. And I'm like, this is the coolest thing on sports TV right now. It feels like there's no one but these three guys in the building, and they're just talking, and no one's telling them to do anything, and they're just hanging out. And it's kind of like watching the game with your friends. It's like being a part of a Twitch stream almost for sports. Yeah, MLB Network, I'm going to watch a lot of that this year. I really liked, I think Joe Girardi's on there. And there are a couple ex-players as well. Is Pedro Martinez on there? I'm pretty sure he is. I'll do one more drive, and then I want to get into another game. So Panthers haven't really ran too well in this game. What mic do you use? This is the Blue Yeti. It's pretty common for YouTubers and streamers, especially ones that are newer. I should probably get a more professional microphone at some point, but it does a good job, and I have settings that I like with it. I do like A-Rod's analysis, actually. Alex Rodriguez makes programs he's on better, I think. How does Cam handle the blitz? Well, he hands it off. It doesn't matter. First down, McCaffrey. Next Twins video tomorrow. Kane, fair to say Breeze, Rodgers, etc. elite quarterbacks are just situationally not as lucky as Brady. As Lucky Brady and the Patriots. I guess you could say that out of all the quarterbacks, Tom Brady has received the most luck. He also has an incredible coaching staff. They're known for having basically the best O-line coach in the NFL, and Dante Scarnecchia. Josh McDaniels is a very good offensive coordinator. And even when they're not good on defense, 6 weeks later, they just figure it out and play good defense. Most of the time. It's like, yeah, he does get lucky, but they also have like everything that's in their control just so good. They get every little edge. They don't miss anything. They're the most detailed team. Griff, thank you for the super chat. Kane, I love the channel. How'd you feel about trading your draft picks in division for the first year to make the Kane challenge even harder? I didn't think about who I'm trading the picks to be honest, so it's good you bring that up. I don't know what I'll do with that, honestly, but now I have to think about it. Oh, well, come on. Honestly, we're already going to be playing against Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs, so that's already going to be difficult enough. The Broncos, we'll see what they do. I think I'll just spread them around to various teams, and maybe I won't help out the top teams. I'll help out some of the weaker teams. Maybe I'll give one to Arizona, and I'll give one to San Francisco and the Jets. Spin a team wheel for which gets the picks. I need to get a wheel. Like, I know a lot of you didn't like the wheel idea for the series. Blackjack helped kind of talk me out of it as Cam runs to the end zone. And I agree, maybe the wheel doesn't need to be in this series. We have enough going on already. But at some point, I'd love to get a wheel. And if Madden doesn't, like, you know, if Madden is in this place where trying to go hyper realistic and do the series I want to do isn't working, and I have to just find more fun solutions, you bet I'm gonna go buy a wheel and I'm going to spin that thing on camera and I'm gonna do something wild. But I hope we just get a game that we can go very realistic with in Madden 20, but we're a long ways away from knowing. Yeah, you don't see quarterbacks run too much in Madden 19, but that was a designed option play, so if it's not by design, they typically don't do it on their own. And every time they do, I'm like, hey, that was cool. Do it again. So I played this Texans game last night, and the Texans game was actually the one that I won on these sliders. All right. I beat them 21-16 or 21-15. They threw an interception in the red zone in the final minutes, trying to tie it on these sliders. So I do know what it's like to win. Oh, by the way, what's a good injury slider to be using here for these games? I don't really know. I'm going to try 13 just because a lot of people on Operation Sports recommend it. I'm going to give it another shot, and I'll see if I like it. We'll get into this Texans game now, see how it goes. All right, I got a question for all of you. I think it's pretty easy to say, not that there's no like competition here. The Rams are a great team, but I think a lot of people will just be like, okay, we've doubted the Patriots long enough. Jared Goff's a young quarterback. Patriots well coached. Maybe Todd Gurley's banged up. Let's call the Patriots and a win in the Super Bowl. My question to you is, if the Rams win, how do they do it? What do the Rams need to do to win? Outside of, you know, you could say Goff throws for 8 touchdowns and Todd Gurley has 200 yards rushing. Realistically, what do the Rams do to win? My thought is that the key to them winning is they got to stop Brady. And the one way you can get to Brady is with interior rush. And there's no team more well equipped to get interior rush on Brady than the Rams with Sue and Donald. So the first thing they got to do is they got to make sure those two destroy the interior. They don't let the Patriots run with Sony Michel, and they actually get some pressure on Brady so he makes those rare mistakes that don't always happen. You got to pressure Brady, and I think it's got to be right in his face. Aaron Donald needs to be Super Bowl MVP for the Rams to win the Super Bowl. That's my thought. First play up top. There they go. Demaryius Thomas. Wow. Blackjack, what'd you think of that throw? from your Clemson hero, Deshaun Watson. Like, Blackjack, you realize that you have so much college football equity built up now in your life that if the Giants never go to the playoffs again, you kind of got to be happy with it. You've had Deshaun Watson and Trevor Lawrence both destroy Alabama when it counted the most. Like, you've already peaked as a sports fan. You've also watched your Giants win 2 rings. You're also a Yankee fan, which is basically being born on third base. So, I think that you've won enough. It's my turn. Oh yeah, you gotta stop Edelman in the 4th quarter, and you can't play these coverages that leave the middle of the field exposed if the quarterback gets enough time. We've saw it all playoffs. It's 3rd down and 12, and here is Breeze from Michael Thomas. The Eagles again leave him wide open. Just sick of it. Force these guys to make a tough play. It's kind of insane. I thought we would be at the end of the dynasty with Kelly Bryant, and then, nope. A true freshman comes in, and the window is wide open. That's incomplete, though. Sideline awareness. Put that in Madden 20, please. Yeah, the Clemson dynasty, I love it. What? The CPU is busted out fake punts and fake field goals against me. I can't believe it. I love those Clemson teams, though, and I love all the good receivers that have come from there. They're an entertaining dynasty. I don't think Alabama is always fun to watch, the way they win games. I think Clemson is like, you know, they put on a show for the most part. Good hands, Wilson. MVP NCAA baseball. I think they only made one of those. I think I played it. I know I had a friend who had it. But I did not get it myself, and that game didn't really have a long life. What's everybody think of the sliders so far in the gameplay we've gotten? Anything I should work on? Yeah, Clemson's offense, I don't know what you can possibly do to slow them down next year. ETN's still young. Trevor Lawrence has 2 years of eligibility. The receivers are really talented. They're pretty deep at receiver and young there too. Up top we go, one-on-one. Yes, David Moore. I have no idea what team Kareem Hunt will go to, or if there's going to be interest or how much. No idea what to expect. Yeah, we'll play NFL head coach again, definitely. Especially with the Browns format showing me how to do that kind of a series. I was always struggling to figure out how I can make a series like that entertaining. And I figured it out. Oh no! What a play! Are these sliders for this particular challenge, or do you think they could be used with normal teams? I think that you could use these in career mode. I think you could use these regular. But I can't guarantee that. But I think that they're going to be pretty solid regardless of what you try to do. That was pretty nuts. The gap is closed. Got to be careful on these sliders. And it's hard to, you know, it's usually tough to get all pro to challenge you like that. And I feel that's the kind of play that normally you make on default. And now we got the INT emojis going. What's up, Joe? If you'd like to become a channel member, of course, that is $4.99 a month. It does get you access to the emojis, which I'm going to be having more created. And then also gets you access to early video links on occasion. And the monthly channel member live stream, which for January it was last weekend. It's a completely optional feature too, I want to add. It's kind of like subscribing on Twitch, if you're familiar. Yes, Blackjack. Cashews were the first emoji I had created. I had some this morning. I'm about to start a franchise while watching with these sliders. I'll let you know if they work with a normal team. Give me about 20 minutes. Yeah, if you try out these sliders and you want to give me just your personal anecdote of what you thought about them, go ahead and send me a tweet or a comment on the video. I really want more feedback just to see if you're getting good games, if you think it's fun, and if something could be improved. But it's nice to have a set that I say does give the CPU a chance to win. And when you're using a team as bad as I am, you know, they're going to win most of the time. That's unlucky. 4-3 or 3-4 defense. I'm a 4-3 guy. And honestly, I don't think that the debate really needs to happen anymore as the league gets more and more spread out. You can't run a 3-4 defense when a team goes 3 wide, and that's like over half the NFL these days. I like what you can do out of a 3-4, but to me it's like, if you're going to be in a nickel defense most of the time, a 4-man front, you might as well just keep it uniform and go with the 4-3 defense, so there's not much to change, and you're not just teaching basically a small sliver of defense and spending so much time on it just so you can have a base defense. I'd say just go 4-3. Unless you're already doing 3-4. Man or zone? I like combination of the two. I don't think either one I'm comfortable with on their own. My favorite coverage, though, is cover 3. Because it gives you a stacked front to stop the run. And if you have good safeties, it is very, very stressful to throw against. Three, 4 outside backers are more fun than 4-3 DNs. I'll give you that. I'll give you that. It's more fun to scheme those guys around, and they tend to be a little more versatile. They tend to be a little bit lighter and maybe more viable in coverage. But I think the athletes that fit a 3-4 system are kind of the prototypes that you want in today's NFL, if that makes sense. So I can understand the 3-4 argument as well. And that's if you want to take your pass rushers and occasionally not have them rush the quarterback, and if they're going to cover every now and again. surprised this one is still scoreless. Most of these games have early points. But they did throw that fake field goal shovel pass against me, so that's gonna hurt things. I love mixing between 4-man and 3-man fronts. Yeah, I mean, in NCAA, you see me mix up the two a lot. And when teams go no huddle, I prefer 3-3-5 because I think it helps me adapt a little bit better. If they're getting really pass happy, I can always have a spy, or I can have a hook zone player in the middle. So if I want to loosen up this coverage, what I would do is I would take that pass defense reaction time slider and I'd move it closer to 50. Because the lower it goes, the tighter coverage tends to be and the faster reactions tend to be. I've been playing on 25. So if I was thinking this was too tight and I wanted to loosen it up, I'd probably try 35. I'm not sure why Watson missed Hopkins. He was wide open. The Clemson connection was waiting to happen. Nice. I've also been working on a little ticker here. I want to like create something cool. Whoops, that's music. I just wanted this set up in case I ever had a reason to use it. So I have some placeholder stuff in there. I spent some time in OBS last week to really try and tighten some things up for the stream and get the green screen right and everything else. I would like to watch the Alliance of American Football and just see if I think it has any sort of competitive, you know, features at all that can help it against the NFL or whatever. I mean, football season is the shortest of the big sports seasons. I would like a spring league or something, you know? Up top we go! Forced it. I paid for it. Everybody was covered. I forced it downfield and paid the price. I feel like I'm having to pay for my decisions when I play on these sliders. Deshaun Watson just ran. Yeah, I'll have to shrink the text. It was just, I had a really tough time formatting it when I was trying to go with small text. So it's just an example, I made it larger. Uh-oh, Deshaun. The Houston blocking has been terrible. What's better, grass or turf? I think I prefer grass. Turf is usually really hard. It's a faster surface to run on, but I think natural grass is the way to go. Let's see if this quarterback can get it to the end zone. Need to get outside here. Yeah. Oh, come on. What? They spied me there? Do not let him score. No, merciless. Oh, man. Thankfully, it's not an actual series right now. Oh, that is the exact kind of thing you'd think would happen to a team like this, though. Don't know if the sliders are the solution, but this is better. Madden definitely needs a lot of work next year. Yeah, I think that I'm just trying to make the most of it this year. These sliders are at least giving me some fun, so that's a step up. That is the most Kane play ever. It's up there for sure. I think the most Kane play ever would be if I threw like 2 interceptions on one play. But that seems to be rather impossible. Oh yes, the touchdown emoji, a perfect place for it. Best fit for Kyler Murray. Someone mentioned Denver earlier. I think that would be fun. I think that would be fun if he was on the Saints, but they don't have a first-round pick, and they have Teddy, who's QB of the future anyway, so scrap that plan. If the Cardinals, for some reason, wanted to get rid of Rosen and draft Kyler Murray, I think that would be fun. How about the Bengals? Let's make the Bengals more exciting. We're going to make the Bengals more marketable and better. The Giants, I'd love to see them on the Giants. I want, like, the Odell Beckham, Saquon Barkley, Evan Ingram, Sterling Shepard era to have a good quarterback. That can help that team be as good as they should be. So fumbles might be a problem. Not that the fumble slider has to be changed, but I might end up fumbling the football too much. No, Blackjack, I heard that Gettleman is totally sold on Daniel Jones. He's going to be Giants quarterback. They might even trade up for him just because they don't want to miss out. Kyler to Miami? Sure. I wonder what team, the team that takes him though, is it a situation where Kyler could play early or a situation where Kyler would sit behind a veteran for a year or two? Yeah, how would you feel about Dwayne Haskins in New York, Blackjack? I think you'd at least have to be pretty happy with that, if it's either Haskins or Murray. I can understand if you're not totally high on the other guys, especially where the Giants are selecting. If we draft Daniel Jones, I become a Texans fan. Just gonna follow Clemson wherever they go in the NFL. And there's going to be a lot of Clemson coming into the NFL with this team that they have and everything they've assembled lately. Can you beat the blitz here, Deshaun Watson? Lamar Miller dropped it. What I've seen from Will Grier I've liked, but there's just so much negativity, it seems, surrounding him that I know I haven't seen the right stuff yet. I gotta see the bad first before I render a verdict. It's Nuke. Haskins I'd be okay with. Not sold on Haskins completely, but he's better than anyone else in the class other than Murray. Oh boy. Covering, optional. You guys should give me a list of like 3 to 5 players that you want me to try to get to know more about, and then next time I stream or whatever and talk about the draft, maybe I can give you some more thoughts. So give me 3 to 5 players. I'll write down 5 players and I'll start watching some of them tonight. I want a list of 5. And someone just asked me about N'Keal Harry, right? The Arizona receiver. Give me some different position groups here. We'll put Harry and Will Grier on the list. I need 3 more. Why did you run so close to the defender? Run your route better. Why can't we turn around a little bit faster? Oh yeah, David Montgomery. The world's most electric sweep right there. I need 2 defenders. I've already put 3 on offense. Cleveland Farrell. I'm just going to interject my own one here because I want to watch him, and then I'll throw in a bonus here. Nasir Adderley, Delaware. I'm going to write down Devin White, though, from LSU. Because I do want to see if he is this perfect linebacker for the modern NFL like everybody's saying. I have not seen Last Chance U, no. There's going to be a lot of turnovers in this series. I'm just going to say that now. I will be changing the quarter length for the real series, and also I'm not calling plays like I normally would in the game. I'm like not running the ball at all. I'm mostly calling plays that are like, okay, how do I want to see the sliders react now? What do I want to test? It's always disconnected, reconnecting. I think we're back. Obviously, connection issues are kind of a feature of the stream, apparently. This was the play you missed, though. It was a nice looking run for Lamar Miller. Going right up the middle. Gonna get a couple after contact. Just a nice play. I also want to watch the corner from Washington, Murphy, I think. I know I've seen some of him before. I'll start getting into some of that tonight. Oh, by the way, the CPU has a fighting chance in the red zone on these sliders. They've made a lot of plays against me. It's not an automatic field goal like on other sliders or default. Let me try really hard to get a touchdown on this drive. Like, let's just say this touchdown is like winning this drive. I'm gonna lock in here. I'm getting kind of tired of the song, honestly. Nice. I will relocate for the actual series, yes. We're going to be a brand new team. And I'm also going to throw in a little backstory as to how the team, why the team is there. So Brady is going to retire when his son is old enough to take over, right? Brady's never retiring. He's always been the Patriots quarterback, and he always will be the Patriots quarterback. How come Ed Oliver's stock is so far down? I know that, wasn't he like banged up this year and then he kind of shut down his whole season after a while? I know there was some drama to it, but I remember him being the consensus #1, and now I've seen him fall to the Falcons in mock drafts. That seems a little off. I mean, I think Mayock can make for a good NFL talent evaluator, but he's not really going to be given a ton of power, it seems. Maybe he gets the decisions in the draft, but Gruden gets 53 final say. But I think Mayock's a good talent evaluator. I think he does a really good job. Oh! Like, these are plays I was not seeing on other coverage sliders. I was making these and getting like 11 yards per attempt. Here's the coverage on this side. Absolutely nothing. I could have tested over the middle, and that's probably a potential touchdown. Could be. But consider right here, I start my animation. So nothing else really matters after the fact. If I threw it like right here, is there a chance that 55 gets deep enough? McKinney? Maybe. But I wanted to lead him upfield here, and that's just an awesome deflection. Those are the kind of incompletions that make the game so much better. Like, honestly, I feel like I could start playing games for the series with this slider set. I would feel comfortable enough with it. Am I almost done with the Warhawks? No. No. I still have players' journeys to continue, start. Sliders are tough, man. I love it. This to me is just really fun. I love this. Alright, let's send this one to the end, and then I'll get into another game, but I'm not going to play a whole lot longer. The stream's been going for about an hour and a half. I still need about 5-10 minutes to wrap up the Cardinals video, and then I got to get that up. So I just want like another drive or two, if you don't mind. Do you think Nick Bosa will be a bit rusty when he goes live again in full pads? I doubt it. There's a huge gap between the off season, the end of the NFL season, and training camp that I don't think that if you're talking about a player who hasn't played in 6 months versus a player who played in 9 months, I can't really see there being a similar amount of rust. Although I forget when Bosa last played. I know he didn't complete the season. Maybe it'll be closer to a full year for him or 9 months. I'm not sure if there's a huge difference though. You know, I've never played in the league, so I wouldn't know if there's a real difference between not playing for 6 months or not playing for 10 months. I feel like everybody's rusty. I might have to go to a new season in this test franchise, though. I keep playing too many games. What does Kane think about the robbery? The NFC Championship game? Yeah, I think the Saints got hosed on that call pretty bad, and it had a big impact on the game. There was a lot of stuff after the call, though, that they could have, you know, altered the outcome. That interception, I mean, the interception was pretty big. And then the fact that Zerline drilled a 57 that would have been good from 67. Honestly, I thought Zerline was going to overkick it, and the Saints were going to take over at near midfield. I don't believe there's an issue with franchise after any year anymore. I lost a franchise of mine in the year 2026. I don't believe so. I know that 2022 was the year that was giving everybody problems before. I'm in 2024 with my Cardinals, so I've never been further. And I haven't seen anybody talk about it. Prediction for the Super Bowl is a Patriots win. If I had to guess the score right now, I'd say like 31-26. My request for Jesse Heikkinen and Anton Greenberry Jr. that you favored in pins still haven't been added. Are you talking about the draft class? Heikkinen, Anton Greenberry Jr. I'm trying to remember the comment. It does sound vaguely familiar. You have to remind me of what the context of that was. I'll take that. Or not. See, a lot of these throws that you can normally hit, just, they're not so easy. And that's one of the keys to getting All-Pro to work. Is you got to remove the easy. And you've got to create variance. And I'm getting there. Do I have doubts on Lester Phelps staying with the Cards? Not strong ones. Flag down as I make a good play on third down. Any O-lineman you look forward to watching in the draft? Yeah, all of the good ones. Because I need something to join the Vikings. Jonah Williams, I'll watch him. That's the one I know off the top of my head. I don't think this play is going to work. It's 3rd and 14. Why am I calling read option? And I'm like stuck. Get me out of here. I think I will use my draft class in this series. I don't know if I'll do it right away though. I might wait a few years. I might wait. Like if we can get established, I might put it in then. Because I feel like the draft class would kind of be like easy mode. Because I know the players. I'm making the class. Yes! What I did there was I held L2 and I threw it because I wanted to underthrow it. And by throwing it low, I was able to keep him from going any further downfield. AKA, I made the perfect play happen. Yep, Anton Green Bay Road to Glory is going to happen. It's going to start when the Super Mega Baseball Series in the current season ends. Nick Mullins puts it up for grabs, and we come down with it at the 7. See, on 42 catching, you can still do ridiculous stuff you should not get away with like that. Robert, thank you for the super chat. Perfect Madden 20 or NCAA 20, which would you take? I'd take Madden 20 because I really want a great Madden game that I can go deeper than I've ever gone into. I've had so much fun with 14, and I want a Madden game I can do the same on. Man, that was sick. Aren't the animations I'm getting like stuff you don't typically see, or do you often see some of the catches that I've had in here? I feel like I'm getting, like I'm unlocking parts of the game that weren't there before, almost. Hey, I'm new to this channel. What do you do? Eric, I'm a franchise YouTuber. I like to take teams and I like to build them up. I usually focus on teams that aren't very good, and I try to build them into championship contenders or dynasties. I've been doing this for many years. I prefer realistic style of football, and I don't usually do a lot of trading and ridiculous stuff in my series. I try to keep things realistic, although not everything is. Certainly I do have some things that are just fun, but oh my goodness, I throw a lot of interceptions, so if you do stick around, be prepared for some of those. Turnovers are very, you're very prone to turnovers, I should say, on these sliders. I would like to see what the Titans can do now. It hasn't seemed like the running game has been very good for the CPU in this stream. I know David Johnson ripped off a decent run on me, but not too many of these. Oh, I think it's also a good time to let this play. Honestly, a lot of the throws that I've thrown interceptions on today are throws that I'm used to making in my Marquise Walker series. I'm going to have to update the Marquise Walker sliders. Yes, I've been trying to make all-pro sliders, and I think I have a pretty good set. I'm having fun with it. It's not perfect, but, you know, both teams have a shot at making good plays. It feels fair. It feels challenging and fun. I see a ticker that will never change. You know what, Blackjack? How about we put the same one on your channel? Because I've watched enough of those Festivus streams. You got the same problem as me. Can I see them? Don't want to play all Madden, but all pro is too easy. I'll show them off one more time before ending the stream. You're not wrong. Although, I don't know what it's like to play with the Festivus. But I might have to find out eventually what it's like to play with the Festivus. How bad could it really be? I'm sure you thought, how bad could it really be? I bet you thought, you know, by year 4 you'd have it figured out. I wish that I could just like tap into your thoughts before starting that series. Forced to check down, Delaney Walker. Nice play. Meanwhile, in year 9, exactly. But you made it rewarding. You did do that. Definitely got to check out Blackjack's Festivus Dynasty that he streams on Twitch. It's highly entertaining and unlike any dynasty you've probably ever seen before. What's really refreshing about this slider set, one of the things, is that the CPU will score red zone touchdowns, and they're not just kicking field goals all day. Field goals make the game a lot easier. I think I missed the super chat here. I'm sorry, Bob. Look at the Oklahoma City Lancers, clean unis. Yeah, those were ones that I did like. I even found a video on YouTube that showed them like actually in-game, and most of the jerseys look better in-game compared to just the example uniform mock-ups. So there turned out to be a lot that I was actually pretty happy with. Come on, man. I can't just throw bullet pass the entire time. That's a catch. Oh, I might get to the outside on this one. Oh boy. Maybe I get points. But yeah, I'll be wrapping up the stream here shortly. I'm going to show off the sliders one last time. Cardinals franchise will be coming out later today. Wow, good coverage. Where's the music I put on my channel? It's all from the YouTube audio library. That way I don't got to deal with anybody's content ID claims or anything. It's all YouTube stuff, so I don't got to worry about it. Could go and find some libraries and whatnot, but I like the music from the library, and I know I would never have to worry about like copyright issues with it, so YouTube audio library has been awesome. I don't think their catalog is as good as like a library, but, or like a more third party, maybe more professional library, but it is pretty good. Yeah, this is just, it's too much right now. And I absolutely love it. This gameplay might look frustrating, but I'm having the time of my life with it right now. I love it. So I'm going to show off these sliders and then be done for today. Thank you all for spending some time with me, though. I appreciate it. I wanted to do these games anyway, and a lot of you wanted to see me stream it, so it works out pretty good there. Jonah, thank you for the super chat. Currently doing a free safety road to glory in NCAA 14. Going to send him to Clemson to continue the greatness they've had at the position. Never thought of doing another road to glory at some point. I have, but the way I want to do it is by taking players I've had in franchises and then going back in time, you know, back in time kind of, to play out a season of them in college. So I'm going to take some of the fan favorites and great players and go back to their college days and play through a year with them there. I think that'd be a fun way to just do a season with a player and then move on to a new position. And that way, you know, I could try a variety of spots and just have a lot of fun with it. So these are the sliders I've been playing with. I've been having a really great time with them, and I might make a couple changes between now and the start of the new series, but I would not expect anything major to change. And again, these are on All Pro, and all the gameplay today was on these sliders. I don't know when I'll play NBA 2K again. I'm gonna do college hoops first. Maybe I'll play 2K19. We'll see if I have time and if I get better. All right, everybody. What do I think about Dak Prescott? You know, Dak's one of those I don't know about yet. I mean, I don't think he's going to be a top tier quarterback, but he is good. But it's like, what contract do you give him? Because your options might only be a big deal or no deal. So are you willing to give Dak the big contract? That I'm not totally sold on. If I could get him for any kind of a discount, or maybe a shorter deal with fully guaranteed money at a lower like pay, maybe like 2 years, 45 fully guaranteed, like I'd be willing to roll the dice on that. But that's going to do it for me, everybody. I appreciate all of you spending some time with me today. I really enjoyed the stream, and I hope you did as well. If you have any feedback, leave it in the comments section. And you can also leave any feedback you have about these sliders if you try them out in the comments, or on Twitter at twitter.com/MrHurriicane. You can subscribe to the channel and put on notifications by hitting the bell if you want to know exactly when I stream again or when I post new content. If you left a like, that'd be much appreciated. Those are always very helpful. And I will see you all next time. Enjoy the rest of your day.